Good morning, children. My name is T.Y. Muralidhar, Faculty of English. Welcome to online classes. Today, we'll discuss ninth standard, our world through English. My dear children, fourth unit, environment. What is man without the beasts? Children, this is environment. Unit's name is environment. See here, look at the picture and answer that questions that follow. See here, in this picture we find a dead elephant and a dried forest. The elephant was trapped and killed. As there was no rain for a long period, the soil dried. There was no greenery in the forest. It resembles a drought condition. The picture tells the ill effect of deforestation. Yes, see. What can you do to save nature? See, generally, for me, I plant many plants in my surroundings. I try to educate the people to save nature by minimizing pollution. I try to encourage to save rainwater by making soaking pits. I prevent wastage of water. Likewise, so I can save nature. Now, a reading. What is man without the beast? Children, first I'll tell synopsis. Here, Chief Seattle. In this lesson, Chief Seattle is a Red Indian. Here, Red Indian chief. Children, he became world famous for a moving speech he made in 1854, just before his lands were taken from him and his people. Seattle's words resonate very well. Resonate means produce very well in the environmental community and are in fact considered to be something like a gospel of the greens. Children, the lesson, What is man without bees, is a speech delivered by a Red Indian chief Seattle more than a century ago to save his land. See, Chief Seattle was the leader of Devonish and other Pacific Northwest tribes. He is a tribal man. The speech is the substance and perspective of Chief Seattle's attitude towards nature, his Red Indian tribes, and the white race. Patriotism, affection, attachment, and love towards his motherland appeared in his speech. He is the Red Indian chief. Seattle described the stream and rivers as the blood of his ancestors. The air was precious to his people for all things like the animals in the forest. The trees and man share the same breath. The white man did not know the purity of that air. The land was very sacred in every aspect. Seattle said that he was a primitive man. Primitive means uneducated. Primitive man, uneducated. Seattle said that he was a primitive man and questioned how the white man shoot buffaloes just for fun. He questioned how the white man shoot buffaloes just for fun. He felt that if all the beasts like buffaloes were dead, man too would die one day, as all the things in nature are connected to one another. The real primitive man are savage. Savage means uneducated, illiterate person. The real primitive man or savage is, in its true sense, civilized. whereas the uncivilized is the white man. Because though they are educated, their attitude, their works are like uncivilized. Seattle requested the people to teach the children that the ground under their feet was the ashes of their grandfathers. The earth does not depend on man, man depends on the earth. All things are connected in nature, like the blood is which unites one family. Children, he said that earth is precious to God. Destroying nature causes anger to its creator. Who is the creator? God is the creator. Chief Seattle finally said that by destroying nature, by occupying forests and filling them with humans, the very living of man is in danger, and again the question of survival comes up. Children, here see, people chose different ways to protect the environment. Here is a speech delivered by a Red Indian Chief Seattle more than a century ago to save his land. Okay, all of you follow the textbook. Children, how can you buy or sell the sky, the warmth of the land? How can you buy or sell the sky, the warmth of the land? The idea is strange to us, strange, new. Say, anyone, how can we buy or sell the sky or warmth of the land? They will buy the land, but they cannot buy the warmth of the land. If anyone thinks that, that idea is not correct. If we do not own the freshness of air and the sparkle of water, how can you buy them from us? If we do not own, see, we own the land but not the freshness of air and the sparkle of water, then how can we sell and how can anybody buy them from us? Every part of the earth is sacred to my people. Sacred, holy, holy. That means very powerful, related to divine. Every shining pine needle, every shandy shore, every mist in the dark woods, every clear and humming insect are holy in the memory and experience of my people. The sap which courses through the trees carries the memory and experience of my people. The sap which courses through the trees carries the memories of the red man. See, Chief Seattle says that the earth is sacred to his people because every shining pine needle, sandy shore, mist, humming insects, the sap flowing through the trees. That means the juice coming from the tree. The trees carries the memories of his people, Red Indians. So every part of the earth is sacred to his people. See, always he says that I am a savage. Chief Seattle says that he was a savage. Savage means literally primitive and uncivilized. The speaker, the Red Indian Seattle, says that he is a savage in his speech. The speaker looks like a savage, but he is not. The real savage or uncivilized person is the white man who shoots thousands of buffaloes mercilessly. Okay, we'll continue the next page. See here, we are part of the earth and it is a part of us. The perfumed flowers are our sisters. The deer, the horse, the great eagle, those are our brothers. The rocky crest, the juice, the rocky crest, the juices in the meadows, the body heat of the pony, and the man all belong to the same family. So, when the great chief in Washington sends word that he wishes to buy our land, he asks much of us. He asks much of us. The great white chief sends word that he will reserve us a place so that we can live comfortably to ourselves. He will be our father and we will be his children. So we will consider your offer to buy a land, but it will not be easy, for this land is sacred to us. Isn't it or not, children? See, in this paragraph, he said that, so he shows patriotism, affection, attachment, and love towards the nature. See, all animals, he feels that they are his brothers. The shining water that moves in streams and rivers is not just water, but the bloods of our ancestors. Ancestors means forefather. Ancestors means forefathers. If we sell you land, you must remember that it is the sacred blood of our ancestors. If we sell you land, you must remember that it is sacred, and you must teach your children that it is sacred, and that each ghostly reflection, ghostly souls in the clear water of the lakes tells children that it is sacred, that each ghostly reflection in the clear water lakes tells of events in the life of my people. The water's murmur is the voice of my father's father. See here, he said that the shining water that moves in streams and rivers, not water, it's the blood of our ancestors. And if it's necessary, if we sell you land, you all must remember. So he requests to the white people, those who are ready to buy his land, you must teach your children that it is sacred, it's not only land. And each ghostly reflection in the clear water of the lakes, it tells ancestors or events in the life of my people. Children, the rivers of our brothers quench our thirst. Quench means satisfied. The rivers carry our canoes. Canoes means a small light narrow boat pointed at both ends and moved using a paddle. Just in the pictures you have seen, small boats. By paddling, we can drive them. The rivers carry our canoes and feed our children. That means they'll go by canoes and they'll catch the fish. That will be the food for these fellows. If we sell you our land, you must remember to teach your children that the rivers are our brothers and yours, and you must henceforth give the rivers the kindness that you would give my brother. Okay, children, we'll continue in the next video. Bye.